All right, good morning, y'all, and welcome to the coffee run. Here we go. Interesting day, I hope, today for you. I want to get personal a little bit, maybe. Today we're going to talk about the mindset, my mindset, personally, right? I've been lecturing and talking to y'all forever about mindset, discipline, all those things, right? All this time. We did 20 shows on psychology, right? What kind of gambler are you? And, after, a few sessions here over the last some months and taking some time off playing live for various reasons, my mind is changing, right? My personal mindset's changing. I want to talk to you about that process, what it looks like for me to go, you know what? I don't want to be this player anymore. I want to be that player, right? And I want to kind of talk through that with you and give you sort of the parameters by which I'm going about it, right? And some things you do by the feels, some things you do by analyzing it, right? So we're going to do a little bit of both today, I think, in that. But before we do, let's get into our, wrong screen. Hold on a second. I messed that up big time. I want to get over to here. There we go. Let's do that. Look, how about that? Hey. So a couple of quick things to talk through. I do want to show you a little bit of some website stuff that we got going on here. But first things first, Mooch. I got some new pictures of Mooch. Last year's Craps for the Cure, we raised about 30 grand roughly, which was enough money to purchase a dog, which Veterans Moving Forward named after Chiro Mucci. The dog's name is Mooch. Good Chiro, obviously our long lost friend here. And I get pictures periodically of Mooch during training. And so when I get them, I'll share them with you. Lori, who is our contact over at Veterans Moving Forward, sends these to me all the time. She's going to be there, I think, at Craps for the Cure, potentially with another service dog, a different, not him, he's too young, but with a service dog. So maybe we'll get to meet a real service dog. But here's the current Mooch pictures. Look at that guy. That face is awesome. He's just little chocolate lab. He's a cutie pie. But they said he's doing great. He's taking the training really well and obviously doing his thing. So I thought you'd want to see him again. It's cool to me to see what these guys look like, right? And what the training goes through. And again, hopefully we'll get to see a real service dog out there. Wouldn't it be great to have like a real service dog with us during the show and be able to reference him all the time? No pic. You didn't see the picture? Hold on. You didn't see the picture. You don't see that picture? Oh, you know what? I got to do this. Hold on. Let me try this. Let me see. Hold on. Let me find I got to find my own picture. Can you see him now? There you go. How about that? Now can you see him? Okay. Yeah, my camera was set to be too tall. There. How about that? Now you can see him. Because I can see the feed now. There he is. Isn't he cutie? Look at that. Look at that face on the right side, man. He is just an awesome looking puppy. Yeah. Anyway, I'm like I say all the time, I'm proud of the work that we did, right, last year. And this year, hopefully more of the same. I got a couple of updates for you related to Craps for the Cure that we'll go through here in a minute. Nothing major. Well, maybe kind of major. We'll look at a couple things that I did yesterday during the Monday night football game. So let's spring ahead and talk a couple things before that. First thing is this, remind you of my travel schedule. We did the Vegas thing with Heavy already. October 17th, 18th, 19th, 21st, that whole 5 days. There's a couple days there with Heavy and a couple days with Craps for the Cure, obviously. I'm putting them on green because it's kind of one big week. I'll be there Wednesday through like Monday of the week before, that 17th, 18th week. Going home the Monday after Craps for the Cure. So kind of a long stretch in Vegas out there. Hopefully I can survive money-wise. But yeah, that's the next travel plan. And then it's all about the cruise in March. So I'll be working on what we're talking about today, which is really from the end of October all the way through March is going to be this refocused mindset of mine. So why don't we get after it here? Let's talk about the paycheck today, which went well today. We did win a couple $1,000 today, which was nice. And again, we're doing it with a different mindset, right? Like I've always been, and you know this, right? I've always been more of a grinder, right? Let's protect the bankroll. Let's have small bets. Let's stack a bunch of small wins, press whatever, right? Come betting, that kind of thing. with the Paycheck series, and we started out grinding for the first probably 100 shows. We grinded it out, right? We got our 10% wins, but man, it was a bitch getting there. Now we're kind of embracing the bigger bet sizes in a different way and saying, you know what? Today's job is to take the $9,000 and make $2,000 with it as fast as humanly possible. Get out of there, because the more we stay, the more chances they have at us, right? Some days, yesterday, we got whacked. Some days, today, it's an easy 2-3 rolls and you're gone. I'm learning, teaching myself to embrace that mentality more, right? Using the whole bankroll as leverage to get something, to get a goal is not, quote unquote, playing the game anymore, right? It's playing a different game. And the Paycheck now has turned into me playing that game, not playing craps, going out there and trying to figure the table out, hot, cold, this, that, who's got what. It's not about that. It's about using money as a tool to make money. So that's the difference is that, and it's got me thinking about a lot of things, right? When I look at like the total overall, right, we're doing really good. I know that these numbers are small. It's hard to see them, I know, but in full disclosure, that's where we are, right? We put a new one out there today called the Duck and Cover. It's 1-0, right? It made 2K. It's not the greatest strategy in the world. It worked today. The drawdown would have worked today too. I think they both made the same money and the same amount of rolls. It's just, again, it's a 3-roll and bye-bye. And hopefully we can survive 3 rolls, right? The mindset's different, but look where we are, right? We're at $55,000 in total bankroll, right? We have $45,000 in profit. We're doing all right. We're doing all right. We're gonna get to 50 or to 100 in the next probably month or two, which is gonna be really cool, right? And then we can change that show from going to 100, right? We can make it go 100,000 to 1 million if you want to, but really that's not very interesting. I think what's gonna be interesting on that show is using the month of play for given ways of play. And we'll do more, less yapping, more throwing, right? Less explanations, less worrying about the bankroll, and more just trying things out and sort of morphing our play. So I think you'll see a slight shift once we get to the goal, but hopefully we get there. All right, Craps for the Cure. The big announcement here is this, and I'm actually gonna share my screen and hopefully you can see this. Not that, we'll do that later. Crapsforthecure.com has been updated. Here's the website. So the new logo is the same logo up here, but it's got the right year on it now, which is cool. We have a tentative schedule laid out, and here's how the schedule looks right now. And this is not etched in stone. That's why it says tentative. But I'm trying to get times and everything else, but I think this rhythm makes good sense, right? So we're going to open it up with Lori and I, like we did last year, for a Coffee and Craps episode. We may have Garrison join us during that session because his scheduling means he's got to be there in the morning. And he's done some work with Casino Player Magazine. He'll introduce Casino Player Magazine's donation, which is a bunch of subscriptions for us to kind of raffle off. So that'll be early in the morning. That will kick things off. The first session is going to be with Brian, I think, from Holy Roller, to talk cruising. You'll notice the theme here for day one. Day one's theme, you'll see cruising and craps, right? How do we play craps on the cruise in such a way to earn enough comps without a lot of risk to keep cruising, right? It's all about comp play, followed up by winning play. That's gonna be Brian's thing. We'll talk about the cruising lifestyle, all of it, right? Then we're gonna have a casino rep, I hope, I'm trying to get scheduled here, talking about playing with markers. Another casino rep coming in to talk about how casinos view comps, how the casinos rate you, how that system actually works from the inside. So first, Brian will talk about how we take advantage of the system to get the cruising. Then we'll have 2 reps talking about bankroll management with using markers, which is an interesting way to look at it, and how they do the comp systems. Again, those 2 may be reversed. Brian may come after those. It depends on the casino rep schedules, what time we get them, okay? That's the idea for Saturday. Then we'll have Premier Hosting come in and talk about hosting. And again, it's more of that idea of when you're working with a host, how do you get scheduled? What is the expectation from you, from the host as far as your play? how do hosts make money? I want to kind of unpeel the onion on that one too. That's coming up, right? Then we're going to switch gears. We're going to come out of the casino itself, right, and go up into the booth. And we're going to talk to one of the Casino Quest instructors about casino surveillance. Now, you know, Casino Quest, the Dealer Training Center, has a new surveillance program. They want to talk about that a little bit, but really it's about, hey, what are they looking for? What is the camera in the sky looking for? Like, they're training people to look for, you know, they need to learn the games. Like, what moves do players make that set off kind of the alarm bells up there? How are they looking at dealers, you know, and how do they catch the sheets? I love that kind of stuff. So we'll talk to them about that. Then we'll have back-to-back sessions with Bo and Steve, Heavy Haltham. We'll get some Craps 201 from Bo Parker. We'll get some Axis Power Craps out of Steve, and we'll do we'll end the day with like two things about how to play craps. And at 6 o'clock, the gang, whoever is there in town and we get dialed in, we'll do Craps Chat. Okay, we'll do a live episode of Craps Chat with audience Q&A and all of that. That's the first day. So we're gonna go from 10 and we'll end at 7. Sunday, again, coffee and craps in the morning. Then David and I are gonna get together and we're gonna do a session on pressing. And what I mean by that is, here's ways to play the 4 and 10. Here's 5 ways to do it. Here's 5 ways to play the 5 and 9. Here's 5 ways to play the 6 and 8. And we're going to compare them from a dealer's perspective. Like, how hard is this to deal? How do dealers view that style of play? He's seen a billion hands. What does he think about these different ways of play? Why does he play the way he does? I'll give my thoughts on some things, and we're going to get, I think, a really good video out of that, of like, here's all the ways you can play these numbers. Not all of them, but here's the top 5 ways to play each number set. That'll be interesting. We'll jump in again with David, myself. 10 Ton will join me here, and hopefully Jen will too. I invited her into the session to talk about big bankroll, right? What's it like to play with a big bankroll from the player's perspective, and how do dealers see that game? Because again, dealers that are dealing $1,500 tables experience craps differently than dealers dealing a $10 table, right? The dealer experience and the player experience is different. Our relationship with money is different at the lower bankroll level than at the bigger bankroll level. And that relationship changes the bet style, and it changes dealer expectations too. So I want to talk about that, big bankroll plays. Jacob from Wager Me This, of course, will join and talk whatever he wants to talk about. I invited Ian yesterday. He hasn't written back yet, but I penciled him in. I want to talk about meetups and community building, right? Couple that with Jeremy, Joe from Craftmaster Journey, Ryan from Mark the Point, potentially Craig, and have like a YouTubers roundtable. And maybe those two sessions kind of combine. And it's like, you know, what do we do on the channels to build community? What does it mean to put a meetup together? Like, Ian did all this work last year putting a meetup together here in the Pacific Northwest, and he's done it again since for our locals. How do you build a relationship to make it happen, right? So that's going to be that afternoon session. That again, those two sessions may bleed into each other a little bit. I'm going to try and end with a couple of things. 4 o'clock, I want to reconvene the council, right? The Craps Council with Joe, with Bo, with Heavy, maybe Tony Leo in that, maybe somebody else, and maybe somebody else. Like a 4-person, I hate to say old timers, but a 4-person Craps experience wisdom roundtable, right? And let them just talk to each other and swap stories and tell tales and all of that. And just that would be really fun for me. I think we'll end with that for the most part. I have another session at 5 that's TBD. I can't really put it on here until I know for sure what's going to happen, but that's a big thing, and then we'll finish up with the raffles and everything else. So that looks like what the schedule is. 10 to 7 both days, Saturday and Sunday. If you're interested in coming, click the ticket link. The ticket link now opens to a page where you can actually buy your tickets. Tickets are $100 for both days. It's going to be at the CEG Dealer Training Center. Okay, you'll be able to come in there and hang out all day, both days. We'll be on camera if you want to be, rolling at the table while we're doing our competitions, talking to David. All the guests will be there for us to kind of rub elbows with, and it's going to be catered. David is going to help us get food. So we'll have food there for both days from a local restaurant or maybe even from Palace. We'll get catered food, and just make a day out of it, make 2 good days out of it. That's the plan there. So if you want to come on in, it's $100 for both days. Same price as last year. It's just that instead of doing today and then maybe Sunday, just do it for both days. If you want to go to the table and play at Palace, this attendance fee will get you like a lanyard. So when you go to Palace and play at our table, we'll know who you are, right? And that's the plan there. We'll get wristbands and other stuff to kind of identify you, so you know who you are. So we know who you are, and Palace does as well. But yeah, no other swag. I'm not doing coffee mugs and crap this year. No swag. We're gonna not spend the charity's money. We're just gonna get like literally wristbands, and that's gonna be that. Also, the donations link is hot. You click the donations link, and it'll take you here, and you can donate money. Right, click a button, put in your credit card, donate your money. Right, and there it is. And now you know the last 4 of my card, by the way. But yeah, donate your money. Whatever you want to do. If the mood strikes you on a Thursday to do it, come on in here and donate whatever you want to. That's a straight up donation link, and both those links are working. The raffle link also works, but there's nothing here. I got to enter the raffle items in. What I need is pictures of things. Like I'll get the cruise ship picture, I'll get the heavy picture, I'll get some other things in there, and we'll put the raffle items up here very soon, and I'll let you start buying raffle tickets ASAP. Just give me a little bit of time on that before we open the raffle up for buying. But for now, you can do straight donations. You can buy your tickets. Okay. If you need a room, you let me know. And I will work. This is, by the way, last year's website total was this. We had another 10K off of cash and YouTube. This number here after this year, these numbers won't go away. So this number should go up by another, hopefully 50,000 this year. I'd like this to say 68,000 at the end of the session. So there it is. Craft for the Cure website's up. The buttons all work. They all link to the right places, and I will get the raffle items at least entered in there and able to buy the tickets today. I would like to have a quick chat with you. Let me go back to the other screen here. A very quick chat, and ask you this. For the raffle items, I think one thing we talked about last year was I sold raffle tickets at different numbers, right? Like the cruise was $100 and this was $5 and everything else, right? I'm considering, and I think it's a good idea. I think Duracell had the idea. I think every raffle ticket should be the same price. Okay, so whatever the number is, let's just say it's $10 for a raffle ticket. Whatever we decide the number is, everything you say, I'm going to buy 100 tickets for $10. Cool, right? I wish you would. And you're going to put 50 tickets on this one and 20 tickets on that one. You're going to spread your tickets around your whatever for each of the items. I think that's the way we're going to do it. I don't have a way yet to have you buy a group of tickets and then spread them around. If you want to buy raffle tickets for 5 different things, you got to go to the thing and buy 5 entries for the thing. And you got to do that for each thing you want. There's no way to kind of just buy one thing and spread it around yet. The software doesn't support that. So if you want to put 10 tickets on the cruise and 20 tickets on the heavy session, you're going to go buy 10 and go buy 20 separately. There's no tax, no fees, right? So it's not a big deal. Just that it's kind of a pain in the butt. So sorry about that in advance, but that's the way that's going to work. So give me another day to get everything kind of up and ready, at least set up, and then we won't have photos of the items, but there's a new one. The thing is, I can't. Like the thing is, this thing over here. Their system doesn't work that way. I don't think. I think their system is you buy a chance at this one thing, and then it makes you go right to the checkout. There's no shopping cart. I don't think. I'll work with it today. I didn't want to turn that system on until I really got into it, but it'll be up and running by tomorrow morning. So just I wanted to make sure that it worked. And I think you're right. I think the same low price for a raffle ticket makes sense. Put them where you want to, right? And I think. What do you think? Do you think $10 is the right number? Like in chat, like what do y'all think? We got 40 people here. Is $10 the right number for a raffle ticket? I think 10 is nice because the math is easy, right? If you buy 10 tickets, it's $100. I can look at, we sold X number of tickets, I add a 0 to it, and that's how many, how much money they raised. It becomes easy, right? I think $10, if you're gonna buy one raffle ticket for a cruise and you win it for $10, that's pretty damn good. One $10 raffle ticket for a magazine subscription may seem like a lot, right? So you're not going to put a ton of raffle tickets. You're not going to put 20 of those on a magazine subscription. You're going to put one, right? But maybe 100 people do the one, right? And that's what we're hoping for. So keep it low and do that. So, yeah, I think that's going to be it. $25 through us. I don't know if it's 25 or 10. You guys chat about it, right? At the end of the day, I'll look and maybe at the end when I ask again, somebody summarize what you all chatted about. Okay, let's do it like that. So keep talking about it during the rest of the show here, and we'll get to it. All right. What's next? I want to talk about my mindset changes. Right, here we go. Let's get to. Let's see. I'm going to get into here. My mindset's changing a little bit, and we're doing a little bit of a reset here on some things. And I'm going to say it's a reset, but you're going to be like, John, it's not really a reset. It's what you've been doing all the time, right? I'm going to say this: it's time to rebuild the bank, right? Time to build the bank. And what I mean, John, I'm always building my bankroll, right? Here's the deal with my bankroll. And again, this is going to be a personal thing for me, but maybe this experience matches a lot of what you're all going through. Okay, so my gambling bankroll has lessened a little bit, right? It was up there really good for a long time. And then we dipped into it, right? For personal reasons. We paid off some stuff, right? School loans and that kind of thing for my kids. Okay, built it back up again, right? Did some side work, whatever, stuff to back up again, won a little bit, it was great. Now it's lessened again. You know my situation for the last few months, it's changed now, right? But you know what it was, so we dipped into it. We had to, right? That's why I stopped playing. I'm like, I'm not gonna play when I don't, have the work. You shouldn't either, right? Don't play with money you can't afford to lose. I didn't do that, right? I kept it. And I used it for other things. Now that it's lower, right? I still need to keep playing, right? You saw, like I'm going to see Big AZ for 2 days. I'm going to Crash for the Cure for a weekend, right? I gotta last for a week out there, right? I got cruises coming up that I want to, be able to play with, right? I want to keep on playing, but the mindset difference is this, right? I'm always building the bankroll to do that. I want to change my style of play. Okay, now I had a nice talk last night with 10 Ton again. We had a great conversation last night about a lot of things. And I think when we get into that big bankroll talk with David and him and Jen, perhaps, you'll get some more of this, of what I'm about to say. But I want to go leveraging the money, right? I don't want to go in there with $500 and dink and dunk for $6 wins or $14 wins and pray to God that I don't lose my $64, right? I want to take the 500 and leverage the 500 at green level, win a little more quickly, a little more regularly at more meaningful levels and get the hell out of there, right? I want to leverage the money I got. I don't want to sit out there and just and do this at low numbers all the time. I want to get it and get it done. Use it right. Playing at the 25-hour level, for those of you who don't normally do this or typically can't do this, right? It's a different game. Even, again, going to 50, it's a different game. It's just a different game. When you can't regress past that green level, you play differently. Your mindset changes a little bit. Things are different. You don't go out there huge and regress down. You play a little bit more aggressively conservative, which will be a talk we have later in this week. I want to get into that role. I'd say I'm tired of playing dink and dunk, right? Bubble craps is one thing, but dinking and dunking at a table and wearing so much, although it can build, I didn't enjoy it during the Paycheck. The Paycheck series made me realize I don't want to grind to build the Paycheck. I don't want to grind to build a Paycheck, right? I don't want to grind if I don't have to. I want to leverage the money that's out there. I'm bringing it for a reason. And I think I'm changing to my reason on some levels is changing, right? So it's going to feel a little bit like Jekyll and Hyde, right? A small bankroll with big goals, right? Goal one, right? Maybe play for keeps. And what I'm saying is leverage the money, play for keeps. Get out there, get it done. Build the bankroll, get it done. Build the bankroll, get it done. Also, got to play for time, right? When I'm out there with Big AZ, I'm not going to go waste his time, get on a table, buy in for $750, go out there 320 across, take 2 hits and bug out with $100 profit. I would do that in the coffee run, 5 o'clock in the morning, get up, go downstairs and do that, maybe twice, take that money, come out and play for time, right? But the secondary goal, right, when I'm playing for time is to win big. So instead of just grinding, I don't want to grind purposelessly, right? I want to grind with purpose. I want to play for time with purpose. So my goals are being split a little bit. I told you way back, right? Your goal determines everything. Your goal determines the bankroll you need. Your goal determines your play style. Your heart, your psychology determines the way that all fits together. Remember all those talks we had, right? This is kind of a reset of that. And this Jekyll and Hyde way of playing, like, let me build, playing for keeps, and then also being able to play for time out of the same basic bankroll. So playing for keeps means, like I said, more focused coffee runs, right? To build the bankroll up, right? I may have to build my bankroll in place in the morning, like, swap the engine out while the car is running. I may have to get up in the morning and do coffee runs, right? Get in and get out like a daily paycheck, right? 3 hits total, 2 hits at the table, hit the cage, right? Done. Or grind it up at the bubble craps table, right? Which works too. I can sit at bubble craps all day long and grind out money and not put a whole ton at risk, right? There's ways to get, money to build bankroll with. Playing for keeps is what I'm calling this mindset. Get out there and build it, right? Play hard, play fast. 3 hits and gone. 2 hits on the table, 1 hit at the cage. Be out of there, right? Playing for time, though, is different, right? I want to last and hang. I want to be at the table with you all for a while, right? I want to play at the meaningful level, right? But I also want to get a home run. So maybe it looks like focusing on ATSs and repeaters. Maybe it looks like playing a horseman, or like a little don't pass hammer play, like a 1-3-2-4 don't pass, or a parolee don't pass, right? At a small level, right? But we know the parolee works, 10 bucks turns into 150, right? What if it was, let's just play the ATS and nothing else? What if it's like, literally, who cares about the box? Let's put 5-5-5 or 5-10-5 up there, right? Put 20 bucks on the ATS, find a way to win 20 bucks, go 66 inside, take 1 hit, pull it down, ATS is paid for, and just kick back. Kick back and have the free whiskey, high five y'all when the ATS wins, or whatever when it loses, and just do it again, right? Maybe that's how, right, we play for time, but also hunt down a couple home runs here and there, right? A focused repeater bet can be seen the same way, right? We can play the repeaters at certain casinos. At a small level casino, you can play the repeater out of the gate and just let it happen, right? And again, you're optimizing in this case for, I'm going to play for a long period of time, so the bets are smaller. It's not 160 across and 10-10-10. It's 10-5 or 5-10-5 and nothing else, right? Small risk, big reward, right? Maybe that's how we do it, right? And a little bit of DP kicker, so that you're kind of playing with a little bit of a net, so to speak, right? So again, playing for keeps and playing for time at the same time. Build the bankroll so you can last and hang, right? In the end game, I alluded to this earlier, right? Embracing this higher level of play, right? Playing only at the green and eventually black is a goal for me, right? I don't want to be dinking and dunking forever. I'd like to have the bankroll to support playing at the green and black level. That means having to build it, okay? The second goal is, when I'm at that level, leveraging the bankroll better, using money to make money, right? If nothing else, that's the lesson of Daily Paycheck, right? We've had a much better time on that show. We've had a much better groove on that show when we were able to leverage the money we have in the rack with bigger bets for shorter periods of time. Using money as a hammer, using money as the tool, not using or relying on luck to get a lower bet high enough to call it a meaningful win. The Paychecks taught us that, right? And I know it doesn't want to be mentioned, but my good friend, you know who it is, got me into that mindset. It's like, yeah, you got to use your bankroll, leverage it. That's what you got to do. You don't make money in gold by buying a tenth of an ounce. You make money in gold by buying fucking gold. You don't make money in Bitcoin by buying 10 cents worth of it. You make money with money. And it's like, you got to leverage it, right? If you've got it, and again, here it's fake money, leverage it and go. That's what I'm processing all this, right? This mindset reset of like, hey, I don't want to play dink and dunk. I want to go out there and play meaningful bets, right? To do that, I have to have enough money in the kitty. Not to say that it doesn't matter, right? Because it does matter, but enough money in the kitty to support the times that it won't. Paycheck, good example. Lose 5,000 yesterday sucks. Win 2K today, win 2K tomorrow, no sweat, right? That's the mindset that I'm kind of getting into here with this stuff. And if my personal play can match that, right, I'll be a happier player, and I'll be able to do more of this with y'all, right? Because you can leverage the wins and the profits to do this kind of thing. When you come out there, I don't have to worry about trying to make it all work. Let's just go hunting home runs with a little bit of risk, right? That's kind of where I'm thinking. So anyway, that's kind of the mindset that I'm getting into. And I think a lot of people probably share that journey. For a lot of you might be the same. Like, man, I wish I had more money. I wish I wasn't worried about losing this $450 that I got. I wish when my rack gets down to $200, I don't want to be sad. I want to be like, well, leverage the 200 to get back into it, right? Not going on tilt, but leveraging the money, right? You want to be there, not playing with scared money. And that's the whole scared money, don't make money mindset thing. So anyway, I wanted to kind of preface that today, because tomorrow, the next day, I want to talk about ways to approach it and some of the thought processes that I'm going through. Anyway, that's all that. So let's go through and look at some of the comments here. And Jen's saying, that's what Hope Man and Super Mario do, the ATS and one bet, right? And I think it's interesting because the ATS wins are enormous, right? And if you can pay for them 8 times out of 10, let's say 8 times out of 10, you can go, let's just do small numbers, 5, 10, 5, you go 66 inside, take one hit and come on out of it, right? If you can pull that off, and that would probably be 3 out of 4 times, right? 3 out of 4 times you're gonna win that bet. That's okay. 3 out of 4 times you got a free shot at making, $700 or whatever that thing pays off, right? Or $1,700. I'll take that chance, right? The one time you lose the $20, it's $20, right? That's grinding for a home run, which is interesting, right? Now, doing that at blacks is a different story, but that's the idea. I think it's an interesting way, and the more I come around to the ATS, not come around to it, but the more I analyze it, you can see where it leads. Let me actually show you something. I had this up earlier. Not that. I'm going to show you this. I was playing with this earlier, and here's the ATS, right? If you look at the ATS, and this is a simulation, right? With 1,000 come outs, right? 1,000 come out rolls. You're going to get a certain number of horns and come out sevens, right? The rest of them become points. And of the points, you're going to win 40% and lose 60%. This is just averages, right? You're expected to win about 17 talls, 17 smalls, and about 3.5 or so alls. If all this works out, right? If you're playing at a table where it's 30, 30, 150, which is the garbage payout for the ATS, look at this, okay? The ATS without the pass line, right? This come out sevens just cost you money. You can't get around that, right? But the horns don't hurt you, right? You don't have this sort of battle with all that, right? When you lose on the 7, you lose your ATS bet, you're going to lose some amount of money, right? You're going to win, obviously, when these things hit. You'll be negative, right? We know this. You'll be negative if that's all that you do. Now, if you can play in such a way where this doesn't hurt you, right? So if we take, for example, that cell, that F13, is it F13? Yeah. Or F13 minus F9, I think that'll do it to us, right? Equals F13 minus F. I think that's what I want. What? Equals F13. Come on, John, type like a person, right? If you can mitigate this by getting one hit on the table to kind of cover the ATS bets, right? The loss becomes a win, right? If you're playing a kind of a focused ATS, you can turn a loss into a win. That's an if. That might only happen half the time, right? And you can even do this, whatever, times 0.5. F13 minus F9 times 0.5. So half the time it works, you're still up a little bit, right? That's an interesting way of looking at this. Again, I'm not advocating for it. I'm just saying this is a way that you can make the math work. Interestingly enough, check this out, right? If it's 30, 30, 150 and you go 5, 10, 5, look at the loss, right? 5, 5, 5. Get your ass kicked, right? 5, 10, 5, you're getting into more of a butter zone where your losses are not that big of a deal, right? If you're playing 5, 5, 5, look, watch this. If you go 35, 35, and the 175, you find one of those tables, 5, 5, 5 only loses you $1,000. 5, 10, 5 is a profit play on this size table. It's a butter zone to these bets in here, whatever that looks like. We can play with it some more. You can make it a positive, not positive expectation, but a positive play with the right bet level. And of course, if everything works perfectly, you'll be okay, okay-ish. I think it's better when you don't play the pass line. Look at this. Even at this optimized amount, the pass line still takes enough money, right, to cost you in the end. So actually copy that here. Right. So that's kind of where you end up. Anyway, that's a look at the ATS as a plan itself. And the repeater, same kind of thing, right? The repeater bets, I think, are the same deal, right? If you can find a table with a repeater or play at a table where you can do 64 across and play it like a repeater, right? Which is, the $60, right? And if you can mitigate the $60 where the points out don't hurt you, right? You can turn an $11,000 win potentially into $61,000 if you're hitting them at the correct rate, right? This is my roll. I actually rolled this many repeaters, right? This is what I actually rolled. And if I had bet $10 on them, this is what my profits would have looked like. So, they're just putting it out there. Grinding a little bit of money, right? And at a $5 table, 32 across, right? And just let it sit there for a while. And if you can mitigate the 7 by getting one win during the roll on some other number, right? Bob can be your uncle too. So that's just what I'm thinking about. And again, it's not like, let's go back to here again. This is not like guaranteed wins, obviously. This is more of a look at potentially, let me play with you for a long period of time, getting some home runs, but not needing the monster roll. Not going out there 64 across and hoping that we get one. Going out there 5-10-5 and just kind of cracking my knuckles and hanging out and kissing babies and doing the thing. And maybe once in a while we catch one, right? That's an interesting way of looking at the game, right? That again, when you have money, big bankroll style, right? When you have money, you're leveraging your money to make money. You're putting the $20 out there at risk to make, hopefully more often than not, the ATS wins, which I think is an interesting way of computing it all. So anyway, mindset change. Let's go back over here. I'm going to go look at some cues. I'm going to check out any PC comments here. PC. Oh my God. PC. There we go. Let's see. Old Bay wants me to remind you, the D8 table is going to be at 7 Pacific, or 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific tonight, different time slot. Jen says, not enough for the story. You're right. Bo and Heavy, and if I get Leo in there with those guys, that could be a 3-hour session, right? And I'm telling you, you know me, man. I love the stories. I love hearing these guys tell the stories. That's why I loved Ed's series they did with all the old timers was great, man. Hearing those guys talk about stuff was awesome. This might need to be an all day thing. I don't know. We'll see. Really, it comes down to can they make it? You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? And yes, this is why skill and luck. This is why I wanted Brian to go first. I wanted him to go first and talk about it, then get it backed up by the bosses, right? Which is interesting. Now remember, cruise ship comps are calculated a little bit differently than land-based casino comps. There's a slight difference there. Brian knows the ins and outs of that. He's going to go first, but I think it's great. Let's see. Yeah. The problem is, and this is the problem with the difference in value, right? So a $10 ticket, right? You might only buy one entry on the magazine, let's say, right? But to me, like the casino tiers, dice, and all that stuff, that's a valuable item, right? I would put 5 raffle tickets on that, right? $50. And again, it's charity. You're not trying to say that thing's only worth $5, so I'm going to bet one ticket. You're like, hey, it's for charity, and I really want that thing. So charity auctions, you always overpay for stuff. Well, here, I'll show it to you, actually, if I can reach it. Charity auction item, right? You know me, I'm a huge women's basketball fan. Here is a Pat Summitt signed basketball. She signed this basketball before she got Alzheimer's and passed, right? Value of this ball, right? The value of this ball is probably $100, right? I paid $1,000 for it because I wanted it, right? And it was for charity. So that's the kind of thing that, I know we had some griping before about the price of the tickets and what I was expecting and all that kind of stuff. I'm gonna lose the ball there. It's all charity, right? It's for charity. So you're gonna overpay for stuff because you want the thing and because it's going to a good cause, right? If it was going out into the ether, like I would never charge you $20 for a thing, but it's going to them. So that's where it is. All right, Jen, of course, right? Table's icy, pivot your strategy, take advantage of the cold table, right? And again, that would be a thing where you're talking about the ATS play, right? So a DP plus the ATS can work. You're gonna eat crap on the come outs sometimes, right? The come out 11 cost you here, but it's one of your bets up there, which is good. But 60% of the time, it's gonna save your ass. You're gonna get your money back, right? A $25 DP and a 5-10-5, the 7 wins you $5. And if you lose in the come out a few times, the extra $5 on those 7 wins maybe mitigate some of that. There's ways to get around this thing and have it be not the end of the world, right? To play for 6 hours with a limited bankroll, using the bankroll for a purpose like that. I think it's an interesting way to change a little bit. And again, I'm the first one to admit I'll change my tune. I still think the ATS over many, many, many rolls is a terrible bet. But if you're going to leverage it this way, it won't be the worst thing. So anyway, there's that. Let's see. Dan says, can I throw the dice? Right? That's different, right? $15 pass line, ATS, right? And play $20 odds on it. That's interesting, right? Again, there's so many ways to approach it, right? I'm going to do a whole thing on ATS play soon. I'm going to break that thing down again a lot. And again, it starts with it's a bad bet, right? The 30-30-150 table 5-5-5 with a pass line bet is a shitty way to play. You saw the numbers, they will destroy you. The casino's built around shit like that, right? But if you come at it with a different mindset, I'm going to do that. I'm going to take more money and leverage to protect that or to pay for that and let it happen. That's an interesting way to flip it a little bit, right? To get a little bit of juice through it. We're going to evaluate it. We're going to do some math on it. I'm going to do some plays on it, so we'll see it. We might do this, Dan. We want to do small chip sets. I should talk a little bit about what that looks like. If we're going to do another one of these kind of things over here, or what. I haven't also figured out the gameplay yet. How we're going to do competitions at Casino Quest. I think I want to do some competitions with actual prizes there on site. So there's things to be determined still. But yeah, I think we'll go to Spinetti's and get some stuff for sure. Again, I don't want to spend a ton of money. I don't want to be like, last year we spent on the bobbleheads and the Funko Pops and all the stuff. We spent, a ton of money up front, and a lot of that wasn't recouped on the auction. So I don't want to go too heavy there. Right. Well, I want to be respectful of the charity's money. So, yes, and I will do this. Laying the box numbers for either side. That's an interesting thing, right? Never look a gift horse in the mouth, they say, right? Always lock it up if you can do it. But, and there's a big but here, right? Let's say you got 100 on the ATS, and all you need is the 6, right? Okay, fine. So the $100 is going to win you $17K. So you lay the 6 for $6,000. To win $5,000. You're locking up $5,000. Smart move, right? But you're costing yourself when that wins, right? The 17 becomes 11, right? So the position of guarantee greatly impacts the reward on the end. So all the times that it doesn't hit, that you don't get, like, not just the one number away, but you don't get the full ATS, remember that you gave up in that situation $5K, right? That's only 50 times of playing it. That's 50 times that you gave up with that decision to hedge it, right? Hedging the number cost you 50 attempts at the big one. If it kind of bleeds into that. So you got to think about that. How many times does it hit versus not? What does the lay cost you to protect it? What is the return on that? And how does that look? So we will run some analyses on that because I think it's interesting. There's an argument to be made never to hedge it. There's an argument to be made to always hedge it. And I guess it just depends, right, on you're playing short-term or long-term. So I think we'll do that for sure. That's a great idea. Yes, you can't Skype me after the show, but you can Discord me, or you can Skype me text. I got to go right to work. I'll be on a Zoom call here in about 10 minutes. But yes, send me a Skype message and we'll talk through it. I got somebody else actually who's doing, I can't really show it to you, but he's doing like a wood carving of the logo, which is badass. He's like routing it out. He's going to it's going to be really freaking cool. So I'll get a picture of that as soon as he's got it done. It looks awesome. I think that, you know what I mean? And Joe building the table, like those are like That's really cool stuff. Like it's one of a kind. You'll never get another one of those. You'll never get nobody else on the planet will have a handmade Joe from Craftsmaster Journey table, right? Once in a lifetime, you're the only person that has that thing, right? The cruise with me, yeah, bucket list item. And trust me, cruising with me is a bucket list thing to do. Jen will tell you how much awesome it is, right? But we can do it again next year, right? You don't make it this year, next year you can try again, right? You'll never get another table like that. You'll never have another wood carving like this. Those are the things that I think are super special. And I'm really gonna push hard on that. So did we land, by the way, on a final, what do y'all think a good price is for Raffle tickets? I saw 25, I saw 10. What did y'all think? What did y'all think? What were your thoughts on some of that? I didn't really see anything at the end there. Let's see. Skill is freaking out about going to questions. What's the freak out? What did you ask that I didn't see? Questions from Skill. Okay, I can do a few minutes of these things. What good reasons are there to have a mindset reset? The good reasons are meaningful wins, right? One of the reasons for the mindset reset for me is this. Do I love playing so much that I want to optimize my play to be at the table for a longer period of time? And just like, for example, the ricochet. Get a don't pass bet set. It goes $25. The point is a 6. $24 6. I win $1 or I win $2, right? I can do that forever and grind out that money, right? But those wins aren't meaningful. It's $1, it's $2. Higher levels, it's 10 and 20, whatever, right? Or, whatever, a $21 win on a $15 table, right? It's an okay win, but it's not meaningful. I'm not going to change my life, right? It's good, right? But to go to Vegas for a weekend and walk out of there, if you have a winning weekend and you walk out there with like a few $100, you go, got them. They didn't take my money this time. That's a win. That's not meaningful. You're not going to go home. That will buy your gas on the way home. You can't do anything with it, right? So part of the mindset reset is I would like my wins personally to be more meaningful, which means playing differently and coming at it from a different angle, so to speak, right? I want my time at the table with you to be meaningful, right? I want to win big money with you, but I don't want to sit out there for 5 hours and pray to God that my 96 across doesn't get wiped away every single time, right? That's the reason for it for me. My two goals are to play better in those longer sessions, right? Play whatever, not better, but play with a different goal, I guess, right? That's what it's all about. I'm changing my goals. I'm changing the way I want to experience the game. And I said to you before, you're going to lose or you're going to win. This is all about changing the way you experience those wins or losses. And that's my mindset is saying, hey, I don't want to do it this way anymore. I don't want to grind $10 at a time anymore. I just don't want to do it. I'd rather not go than grind like that, right? That's where I'm coming to. I've always been a grinder and it's worked for me. But now at this stage of my life, with the bankroll that I've got, that I'm about to have and build into, I would like to not do that. I would like to have a more meaningful table existence in both situations. Right, building better, faster, build bigger, better, fast, whatever the thing is, right, and also play longer with you and have those sessions be meaningful. That's the reason for that. Okay, let's see. Do whales just play crap? Whales are there to home run or bust, right? A whale doesn't care, right? But they can survive it, right? Here's the difference between a whale and what you might call a whale, what you might call me and you, right? For me, let's just say let's pick a number. Let's say you have 5K in the bank and you bring 1,000 with you, right? You've burned 1,000, right? It doesn't actually impact your life. It impacts your gambling budget, right? But it would suck to lose 25% of your money or 20% of your money. That would really be God, what a bummer. That would suck. The guys who have millions in the bank and they're buying in for 10 grand, that's a booger to them. That doesn't matter, right? They're looking, can I take this 10 grand and leverage it to make 15, 20, 30, right? That's an investment in entertainment, fun, and let me see if I can do it, right? The blip on the radar that loss is nothing, right? That's the difference. That's one of the big differences, right? Is the amount you're pulling out of that to be at risk, right? The other side of that is to say, well, if I'm going to have 5 and bring 1, I'm going to make that 1 work its ass off for me. And by that, I mean, I'm not going to sit out there and make it work pick an axe and breaking concrete with the $1,000. I'm not going to break concrete and make $6 at a fucking time. I'm going to take the grand. I'm going to win green chips multiple times, hundreds, and get out, right? I'm going to work it like that. I'm going to be like a day trader with it, in and out, right? Versus a savings account, earning 1%. Like, that's the difference of it. And that's the mindset. It's like, I want to experience this game differently, right? And again, Tenton and I were talking last night about that. Like, there's a point in time where you say, I don't have the bankroll to play that way, but I don't want to play this way either. So you make the call. Build enough bankroll to where you can play that way, or just say, screw it, I'm going to play that way with the bankroll that I've got, and I'm going to start using that as the hammer and not luck. That's the crux to this whole thing. I hope that makes better sense than, maybe the explanation I gave during the actual talk wasn't that clear, but that's what it comes down to for me. Does that make sense, everybody? So I hope that that's good. Let's see. 2 likes today. Yeah, nobody likes me anymore. I get 45 people watching and nobody gives a crap, right? Now we have 18, which is cool. Realistically, Duracell, for a coffee run, 10 minutes. I want the dice. I want to throw one time. Like, I want to set my number, put my bets out there. When I 7 out, I'm done. That's my ideal bankroll build is that. Daily paycheck. Come in, set a point, put my bets up there. Whenever the 7 comes, I'm done. If it's 1 hit, 2 hits, come down, play a little bit, let it happen, done. I want that to be my experience. That's how I want to build my bankroll. That's my coffee run every day at the casino. That's what I want. Okay. When you come to Vegas and visit me and Dice Dr. Dan, right, and we get together and play, the 3 of us at a table, I would like to play for longer. I would like to enjoy that time. I'd like to be out there with you for hours and watch your throw. And you can watch my throw, and we can all make fun of Dan not throwing, right? All that. I want that to be an hours-long experience. That hours-long experience is not funded by buying in for $1,000 and going 96 across, or $30 6 and 8, and praying that somebody hits the inside and bleed. That hours I'm discovering, or feeling, or experiencing, like, I don't want to do it that way anymore. I want that $1,000 to last, but I want it to have some oomph to it, which is why I talked about maybe it's a leveraged ATS play, and then we're just hanging, right? Maybe it's a little bit of the hop system. Like, I'll bet the hops on myself, hop in the ones or something when I'm throwing, just to have some extra side bet fun. Like, that's what I'm looking at. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, hope that makes a little bit more clarity around it. So. Let's see. I see a thumbs up. Maybe that made sense to somebody. Cool. Yeah. All right. Let's get Dice Influence says, yep, invest your wins in stocks when you're not at the table. And that's the thing, right? There are people in this chat who I will not call out that are very good investors, right? That's what they do. That's how they build their wealth, right? People that attend our show but don't chat. Good friends of ours that you've experienced in Craps Chat and other shows, that's what they do. They use money to make money. And I feel like I've been using my money at the craps table to survive and profit a little bit. I've not really focused on using my money to make money. Mindset change. So there we go. I'm out. Jen says, I vote for 20, but understand why it's 10. I do like that. I don't know if I can make the minimum thing work. I can max out the number of Raffle tickets on an item, but I don't know if I can make a minimum. I have to dive into the options, and I'll see what the website lets me do. Again, it's software I didn't write. It's a service that we use. So I will check and see what we can do. I love that idea. Having like a minimum threshold before the item is active is good. Yeah, I don't know. 10 or 25. I just don't know what the right number is for these raffle ticket items. I think 10 feels right to me because it's easy. 25 also is easy, and I think most people can afford a quarter, right? Most people can afford $25. I don't think it's asking a lot. We may sell less tickets, but 25 also feels like it's an okay one. We'll keep talking about it. Maybe it's a thing where 25 gets you 3 and 10 gets you 1. We might do something like that. So, yeah, all raffle items in ascending order to the group. That's interesting, actually. That's interesting. All the raffle items, and we just say we're going to pick a person to win this prize, pick a person to win that. That's interesting, actually. I like that idea. Instead of bidding on which one. That's very interesting. I have to think about that. Papa Chops, that is an amazing idea. I love that. Yeah, 10 times out my head. You're right about that. It's not about changing because of the talk that we had. It's talking through it with a like-minded person. And it's like, hey, we've led a parallel life, right? And it's like, when you talk to somebody who has made the decision you're kind of trying to make already, it's like, what was that experience like? What was the trigger to do that? What's changed since, right? I can still play my don't pass grind, my don't pass parlay that I do, right? On everybody at the table. I can still do that at table minimum and grind through it and still have a good, enjoyable experience. It's really when I'm playing. It's when I'm got the dice. What am I leveraging when I have it? And that's the thing. It's a more cocky thing of like, hey, I want to make sure I'm using my money to the best. James, I love you. You're always the voice of reason. Everybody here should know that. You email me quite a bit that nobody sees, right? You are the voice of reason, and I appreciate you so much. All right, I got to go to work. Skills right. You'll have a great day. Love y'all. God bless every one of you, and appreciate all the eyeballs. All right, have a great day. Bye, everybody.